dried out tears of sorrow, lacking all emotion, staring down the barrel, waiting for the final gates to open to a new tomorrow, moving with the motion, following the light that sets me
All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Hey guys, how you doing? This is your boy Tabletop Android. Doing something just a little ad hoc right now. I'm doing some scenery development, so I figured I could share a little bit while I'm working. So this one's Bella Coola. I learned that there's already a Bella Coola for that Orbix created. Hold on, let me try and get another browser going, so that we can all see what I'm talking about. Let's see here. Sorry, almost there. Got this one. What browser is that? That's not the right browser. That's my personal browser. I'm gonna erase that one, and that's the one that needs to be seen. Oh boy. Alright, let's try and resize it. Something that works. Alright, so we're not going to need most of this. Let me see here. So Orbix and Bella Coola. So I'm doing this particular scenery because of Odyssey Aviation, and we took a vote, and Bella Coola was the next destination. So I didn't know much about it, to be honest. So I loaded it up in 2020 just to see what was going on, and it looked barren and empty. And I was like, all right, cool. And then I loaded it up in 2024, and I saw a full. And then I saw a full set, and I was like, oh my goodness, there's stuff going on here. So let me just load this in and show you that I saw nothing. So at some point it looks like, because I didn't buy this, so I'm guessing at some point Orbix gave this to Microsoft, or some partnership happened. I'm not sure. But as you can tell here, the default, let's look at this one here, the default, there's really nothing going on. Nothing out of the ordinary. Alright, cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and load this up. So I just quickly started one recently, but I didn't really do anything with it just yet. I just got the files set up. Here's the scenery. I think we'll load it in the editor. Alright, here we go. Thought I deleted everything. Oh, I did. Okay, so I did delete everything, and I was going to go ahead and start from scratch. Alright, so first thing I wanted to do was to kind of get this runway underway. So we're going to do the runway, and then we're going to kind of get the apron going, and then the taxi. Alright, so let me see here. For that, we've got the properties. So here goes the runway object. 2.3 seems to, I did 2.5. Not what I want. We're going to delete that. So we're going to do a runway object, and we're going to do 2.3 instead of 2.5. If you do that, that will make it the primary runway. We're just gonna get this aligned just a little bit. We're gonna do that visually. All right. So what we can do now is we have configuration. I got a couple properties: configuration, the heading, the length, the width, all of those things. Not sure if they're both left patterns, left or right patterns. Let me see here. I would not think, because it's so close to this area. So I think 2, 3 is a left pattern. Yeah, I don't think they would want you doing right patterns on 2, 3. And for the other one, and I would normally look at Navigraph and see what charts they have, but there's no charts. So 5, they would not want you doing left patterns, so I'm gonna say right. So right, 0, 5 is gonna be the secondary, so we're gonna go with right patterns here. All right, so we can do some markings now that we have the configuration set up. Let's go ahead and save the scenery. We have materials. We'll work on that later. Markings, edge markings. Let's see here. We can take a look at Google Maps and see what pops up. Bella Coola Airport. Excuse me. All right, so I'm looking to see if there's any outside markings. It looks like there's remnants that it's trying. Let's see what they have here. Hard to tell. We'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and put it on there anyway because we're nice. So we have some edge markings, threshold. Let's see, a fixed distance marking. Yes. We have touchdown. We do have touchdown. So I'm looking at this and then I'm just adding it there. We do have a center line. And I think that's about it. Yeah, that looks like it. There's some additional stuff down there, but that's good. All right, so let's try and get this lined up a little bit. So there we go. Roughly. Now this arrow here is different than what's I think available, so we'll see. Let me see here. Precision. We don't need extra pavement. We don't need extra pavement along the sides. So I think all of these are okay. No arrows. Test pilot live. Wow! Finally, someone with SDK. Hey guys, so this is 2020's SDK. And I'm going to try and make this, what's the word here, compatible with 2024. But that'll be interesting to see because 2024 has like a full suite already and I really don't want to mess with it. But Test Pilot, how are you doing, man? Welcome aboard. Voice volume lower than music. Voice volume, oh, okay. You may want to check. Yes, and you do want to check. Let me see here. How can I get my voice? All right, microphone test 1, 2. Let's see. Maybe I need to get this in front of my mouth more. And the music. I have the music. Let me see. I can always turn it down. How does that work? How are those adjustments for you? Much better. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that because it would be terrible to look back at this later and see how bad the audio is. Let's take a look at your link. Fictional GA airfield with 3 runways, 3 helipads, VAIFR. All right. What does this mean? Manage passwords. Okay. Ooh, this is clean. Is this your work? Wait, are you the developer? Let's see here. You are the developer. Test pilot live. I love it. Challenging approach, beautiful views, nav aids. Hey, did you question about these nav aids? I've always wondered, did you put this in yourself? Like, is this a part of the airport? I know it has like different frequencies. Did you add your own frequencies for these nav aids? Much better. Library recommended. No, MSFS SDK does not allow adding. Okay, VORDME, got it. So you got this from like charts, and you're just making it known. I got it. Or you have a chance to ruin nav. Yeah, definitely true. All right, and then that's the Russian version. All right, let's take a look at these pictures because I like what you got. Wait, am I logged in? Nope. Let's go ahead and log in so I can follow you. All right, now let's go ahead and let's save this for later because I will want to check it out. Let's follow you. All right. What I'm making is so roughly what I'm doing is I'm making Bella Coola. I am redoing this one. Orbix does have, I did learn that Orbix does have one for, but I'm making this as part of, oh, sorry. Thought I was showing you the screen. So here we go. I'm doing Bella Coola. I did learn that Orbix has their own version, which is fine. I'm making this as part of the Odyssey Aviation Service. So next month, we have an adventure pack, and Bella Coola is going to be the featured airport. Let's get back to this. I want to see your pictures. Nice attention to detail. I'm digging it. That's a great angle. Love it. I like it. There's just enough things here to kind of give you a sense of, realism. Nicely done. I'm digging it. Rather accurate representation of what I saw in real life. Nice. That's a great angle right there. Nice shot. It's funny, part of the interesting thing with scenery development is trying to market your own scenery. You have to end up learning how to take good shots. And these are good shots. I like it. Ooh, nice. We got these assets here. Ooh, nice. This is impressive. I like it. Oh, nice. It has a amphibious, I guess, runway or taxiway or whatever. Very, very nice. I'm definitely gonna have to check this out. I like it. No parking stand for number 13. All right, copy. Copy. All right, so we're gonna come back in here and let's just finish up this runway. So we have to put an extension on here. So let me see here. I believe, ask anything if I may help. All right, I will do. Thanks, man. So we have pavements, I believe is what we're looking for. So primary threshold we've got the blast pad. So if we do the primary threshold, and we can do a length just of, we'll just say 50 meters just to see what it looks like. So this is what we're looking at. If we did the blast pad and we did like 100 meters, it's basically this one with the yellows. So we don't need that one. All right, so since I see that it's pushing it up, I'm just gonna go ahead and extend it out to here. And now we gotta play around with like exactly how long this is. Let's see if it's 80. We'll do 75. All right, I was gonna do 70. All right, 70. So I'm not sure if there's a way of removing this. The hardest thing is taxis. Yeah, I've become pretty comfortable with the taxi. Taxis are, I mean, I think what's the word here? Not just taxis. I think it's getting the right materials or getting it to line up. All right, so this roughly looks the same. I don't know what to do with this. And test pilot live. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it. Thanks for the love, my friend. All right, so now we're gonna superimpose this thing here. We did a good job with just our eyesight. All right. Let's go ahead and move this over just a teeny bit. Let's see it. All right, yeah. So I think we did an okay job with the width. All right, let me see if the length is okay. And roughly, I think we're good. Make sure markings are not the Euro ones. Are not the Euro. Yep, got it. I did actually mark that out. All right, so taxis. Let me take a look. Let me show you what I found for taxis. We're gonna jump to the desktop view. So here is Little Nav Maps, and Little Nav Maps has taxiway Bravo and Alpha. So we're gonna just do a quick taxi, just to get disconnected, and we'll work on the aprons and all that stuff afterwards. So we have our runway. We're gonna go ahead and save it. Have an apron first. I hear what you're saying, but I'm gonna, because there's a bit of apron work. I want to try and make sure. So there's this layer, and then there's this shade over here. But this shade. So there's nothing but grass. So I'm definitely gonna have to do something with this over here. And if I take a look at some of the pictures that I have, let me see if I can find it. Oh, sorry about that. All right, so these are some of the screenshots I took in 2024, and just so I can have some references. Actually, I think we can just go all the way there. So this is what's already there. Let me try and see if I got a decent shot of everything. So we've got that. Ooh, they actually did that. So there might be a way to extend it without having, or maybe that's just an apron and they did the arrow themselves. So I'm not trying to get like a one-to-one. That's going to take forever. Just going to do the best I can. Yeah, but this apron work over here. So really the taxi, let me see if I can zoom in. Oh, that's better. So the taxi work I'm just going to do this taxi right here. And then we'll work on the apron. All right, so let's jump back in here. All right, so we have this object. We're going to go ahead and do taxi points. We're going to do normal, and we're going to do one click. And I'm going to start mine here. And I think there's a hold short somewhere over here. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and set it up right. So here we have these two taxi points. Taxi should go on runway center line also. Don't repeat my errors. No doubt. No doubt. Now these taxi points, there's going to be a taxi. There's going to be taxi paths. There's going to be points. It's going to be a mess. So I normally try and group them as soon as possible. We'll rename them to taxiway objects. Actually, I mean, it's not a big airport, so we'll just say taxiways. All right, so now as I continue to adjust and all that good stuff. All right, so I'm going to click on the taxi path and we're going to look at the properties. Right now it's concrete. I mean, I think that's fine for right now. We will figure this all out. But the width is about 30 meters, which is too big. If we move this, can we move the whole thing? Nope. Let's move the points. So the good thing is that this kind of bleeds through. So we're gonna go ahead and click that path again, and we're gonna change this. Let's just do the smallest, or a small one, 10. Asphalt 3. All right. Copy that. Let's try that. Let's go with material. We'll look at asphalt. Is it _03 or 03? Ooh, which one is it? Runway asphalt? That's the runway. Default, that's decals. We've got asphalt generic 3. Well, let's just take a look and see what it does. So we're gonna click on material and that'll change it. All right. We'll just keep it like this. It's not a big deal right now. Right now we're kind of just like scaffolding, and then we'll come with the details after. So this is 10 meters. There's 12 meters. Let's go with 14. So we'll just go with 14 for right now. And all right, and then we'll just continue and just make our connections. Now I think it's gonna be smaller once we get over here. Yeah, it is a little too dark. All right, so we have our points. We have normal. We're gonna go back to one click. We have this highlighted, so it already has an idea. We'll probably change that up later. All right, and then we have this one, and then this one. All right, and then most likely we'll just have a point right there. All right, now you see this red right here, point not linked to the main graph. That's because it usually, it's this one on my pointer right here. So if I remove the one click, it'll remove it. Everything's good. I'm gonna save because I'm constantly trying to save. All right, so let's go ahead and add. We're gonna right click and split the path. So we have another point, and then we're gonna manipulate just a little bit. All right, now this one, these were a little skinnier. So we're gonna control click the paths. And we're gonna go ahead and try for 10. And there's a little bit of grass on the outside, so I think I like it. Continue taxi to runway and close the circle. Copy that. All right. So we're okay with there. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and add, we're gonna add some taxiways, but these are going to be a different type. So right now we'll keep them on normal, and then we will go ahead and change those out. So we're gonna put this over here at the end. All right, and then we're gonna change this up. So we're gonna start here. Oh, actually at this point, let's go ahead and lock the runway so that we stop clicking on it. I'm gonna click on that one. We're gonna do the one click. And then we're going to click over there. And then probably, let me see here. I think we should do this. And then we're going to close the loop. We're going to control click. and I think you right click and you create a path. So now we have a full path, but what we want to do is we want to make this different. So these paths that are on the runway, they're going to have a different type. We're going to control, so we have that path and that path, and we're going to change the type to runway. And if you look at it, it's now blue. I will be needed for AIAC. Just in case you have questions, you may direct my message me, flightsim.to. Will do, man. Thanks for the willingness to share and help. I love it. All right. I forgot how to. Okay, there we go. All right. So now, the reason why we're doing this is helpful for when you are when you're using the in-sim ATC and they're directing you. You're choosing a taxiway and all that good stuff. All right. I think for this one, let's go ahead and. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and create. I'm gonna split the path here. All right. So because we did that. This one right here, we're going to make sure is the runway. All right, so here we have our taxiways. These are all taxi types, and then this is runway types. This one, I noticed that it looked a little skinnier. I mean, it's not a big deal. So that one is 10. We're just going to make this consistent. Oh, wait, are they all 10? Oh, no, sorry. 14. So we're going to make these two 14 just for consistency's sake. All right, everything else is fine. You may want to set taxi names. Yes, definitely. We're going to be doing that as well. All right, so here's the taxi groups, and sometimes things get away from you, so we just put them in there. So now we have a nice little neat system here. So in order, Test Pilot was talking about the taxi names. So when you render, you can render to show taxi names. You can show the width. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do. You can show the width of your taxi if you need to do some debugging. Parking spaces, that's definitely a thing that we'll be working on as well. So we don't need the width right now, we just need the names. All right, so right now, we know that this is alpha. We're gonna control click on the paths, and then we're gonna give a path name of capital alpha, because if you do lowercase alpha, it'll do it as lowercase. So we're going to control click these paths, and we're going to call these Bravo. And since we are rendering the names, the taxi names, we can actually see them as here as well. So we're going to do Bravo. I think the whole thing is really Bravo, and then save. I usually do a control S after any change that I make. If we go back to here, we can see that Bravo is that as, wait, is my, okay, there it is. So this is interesting. So this is labeled 1. So I'm going to label this section in here 1, and then we have alpha, and then we have Bravo. All right. And I'm really only doing that because I don't have any charts to work with, so I'm just working with that. So we have these two. I'm going to name these 1. All right, and then we have alpha, and then we have Bravo. All right, sounds good. Control S, and Bob's your uncle. All right, so at this point, we got our basic navigation going on here. We don't have any parking spots just yet, but that's fine. What we can do next level is charts. Oh, wait, what is this? We're gonna copy this link. Let's see what this is. Oh, you got a separate project for the charts. Gotcha. Airport charts. Required is that airport. Recommended is. Ooh, what's this? What's this personnel one? Oh, do you have your own people? Are these your own models? I know we have marshals. This one looks like a 2024 person. Is this 24 compatible? Okay, this is 2024. All right, cool. I like some of the default ones. Okay, got it. All right, I'm digging it. All right. Let me see here. Okay, so now this is going to be. I'm really not good with aprons and stuff sometimes. So this is probably going to be the most frustrating one for me. So let's take a look at a couple of different stuff that we have going on. Let me go to the desktop. All right, so this one should be simple. So what I want to do is create like one primary layer, probably all around here, because it looks like it's roughly the same. Let's click on this one. It looks like shading wise. So we at least got over here. I mean, things are getting a little dirty over here, but we can probably add another apron on top of it with some textures or something. So I think I just want to make this first one just one layer, and we'll figure it out after that. Looks like two rectangles. True, yes, we got this rectangle on the inside, and then we have this one on the outside. Oops. This one. All right, let's jump back in here. So we're gonna kind of trace this out. Look at this one here. Yeah, we'll trace this out. We'll probably just stop here. Now this one, this right here, if I'm going back and forth. Okay, so over here, this is definitely grass. So we can just come around here. And this is a road. Happy to find such a stream. Hey, I'm glad you found it, man. I'm glad we found each other. So I'm alt tabbing back and forth between this stuff here, but my auto switcher is not. I wish there was a. I don't know if there's a way to lock a scene so that it stops switching. I right clicked on the scene, but I didn't see anything about like keeping it. Or maybe. Yeah, maybe I just need to create one scene. Hold on a minute. Yep, forgot I had a scene, a different scene set up for. Oh, no, that's not working. All right, I'm gonna put it back. I think my profile's missing. All right, whoops. All right, so we have this one here. So we're just going to come across here. And then we'll just kind of do that. All right. Oh, actually, we need to come down here. Let me just take a look at the picture. All right. All right. So now we have aprons. When you do an apron, it's going to throw it into this airport object. We don't need to hide that or lock that anymore. So we're gonna do an apron. We have different types of aprons. This one's gonna be pretty custom. So we're gonna use the default. And it's basically you're just building out polygons. Let's see if we can go in a little closer. And you can adjust your polygons afterwards, so just gonna do a rough cut I'm gonna try and follow it as best I can, and then I'll just take liberties elsewhere. Good evening. Hey, what's up, Pac-Man? How are you doing, my guy? Good to see you, friend. We're doing a little bit of scenery development work here. We are working on Bella Coola. The community, the tabletop community, has voted that this was going to be the next thing that we work on, or the next adventure pack. Okay, so that is what we're doing. So here we go. Actually, this should probably come out all the way out here. So let me see here. This one's gonna be. I'll fix these afterwards. So it's a lot easier to put in all your dots in here instead of later. So we're going to take our time, make sure that we do this right-ish. All right, and then all right, so we kind of did the opposite of what I wanted because we're covering everything. So we're gonna have to put in aprons for the grass, which, you know, I think is fine. What's this you're doing? Nice. All right. And then I wanted to adjust this one. So now we're gonna go ahead and right click and add points. Kind of wanted this to go all the way out here. A little bit more. I wonder if it's covering the road. I don't know if it actually stops the road stuff from happening, or if it's just the lane. Who knows? All right, Control S. Okay, so we have our apron. So we're gonna have more aprons. So let's go ahead and make sure that we get organized here. We're gonna go ahead and rename this to aprons. No, come on. There we go. Aprons. There we go. All right. So now we have a nice little list there. And let's see. All right. So we can play around with the texture or not. I'm not gonna focus too much on it. Let's get this other apron there, just to kind of get things going. Or, you know, scaffolding. Very difficult sometimes doing that because I really want to make everything perfect, but we're spending too much time. So here we have, so I'm going to call this the main apron, or the base. I'm going to call it the base apron. All right, so I can always know what I'm talking about. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and hide it because what I want to do is get this one over here, and I'm going to make this one a square. So we have the apron. Let's just put this one, make it a disc. Nope, not a disc. How do you control? That's not what I wanted. I wanted a square. There. 80-20, 80% of results achieved with 20% of efforts. There we go. This guy knows. Now it only looks like I know what I'm doing. Like this, what's the word here? This ability to work with 20%. This has been a long time coming because I'm constantly trying to make things perfect. All right, we can do that. All right, so these two are going to look. It's not going to make a difference. So I'm going to change this just a little bit, just enough. And the last 20 with 80% of efforts. Okay. You tell me I've spent 200 plus hours on that scene. Oh my goodness, that is a long time. But the attention to detail is there though, and That's what I really like. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and change the material just a little bit. Yuck. Yucko. And I can spend all types of time here. And it's funny because look at this. This preview does not match, or maybe it does. Ooh, that one looks really interesting. Oh, that one looked good. All right, 5. All right, we're gonna do that just for right now. So we have this one. We have our base. We have somewhere to start, somewhere to work with. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the map again. And it looks like the end of this matches up a little bit after here and then a little bit over here. So let's see if that, yeah, okay, so that is yeah, so it's a little bit after, and then I guess this is that's the best that we'll do right now. Think about any item you place as IRL, like where should I park this fuel truck if it was me, right? Yes, yeah, you try and get into the mindset of these objects. Then it comes looking real, no doubt. Test pilot knows exactly what he's talking about. This guy's got the experience. All right, okay. So I do not have any custom models. I'm not really good at modeling, but I do have some models that I've purchased from CG Trader, and I had some luck with getting them imported. So there's 3 main buildings here, and then there's a sign that you right over here that you always see on the pictures. So I'm probably going to need some of that. So let's take a look at this. And I don't think I took good pictures. All right, so here we have, this is a custom model. This one I think is a custom model. I don't believe it's a part of the default asset. And same thing over here. This we should definitely have access to this. This we can do. There's a helicopter parking, and then there's like a little thing we can do there. We have fuel, and I thought I saw fuel over here, but maybe not. This is the weather. These are the weather station. So that is, let me see, let's take a little bit more. That's on that side. Ah, right, fencing. Okay, so I love fencing. That really helps me with things. Let me see here. It's called Mato Swimming Fair in Assets. What? Wait, I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see here. Talking about scenery assets. We're gonna do a search for MA. I told you you could.
If you want to be healthy, this is a starter.
Hey, Andrew.
Drink more water.
Hey, Andrew, how you doing? I don't have my camera on, so you're not going to see me drinking water today. I wanted to give you, instead of my face being on there, I wanted you guys to see the scenery. So I was looking for Meteo. I wonder if that is the case in 2024, and this is 2020. So I'm not seeing it there, unless that's your asset. Really, the music is still loud. This thing is wild. All right, cool. So I'm using Windows Media Player. I'm using the legacy one. Here, let me show you. So the reason why I'm using legacy, normally I would use the new one, and I have a little more control over the audio, but I don't know where this executable is. I found where this one is, and I thought I'd try it out. All right, but Look, the volume is at 2 and it's still too loud. Wild. Let's see if I put it at 1. What do you hear? Do you hear anything? Do you still hear the music? Mito Garden, top 1. Oh. Meteo. Oh, okay, got it. That was that one. Okay, so this one is coming from that airport, LSZG. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, neat. Okay. So these are their assets. Now, here's the trick. Is that if I put this in here, I'm hoping that LSZG is a part of we'll say the base game. If it is a part of the base game, then that's great. This will be available to them. If it's not, then they won't be able to see it. So that's one of the tricks, or that's one of the problems. So because of that, I usually end up using a lot of the FS base assets, because that's part of the base stuff. But that is good to go. Microsoft, it is yes. In the library name. Yes, true, but Meteo, but sometimes with the world updates and some of the stuff. So it is, yeah, Microsoft Airport. Oh, okay, so because Microsoft's in the name, then it's automatically a part of the packages. That's good to know, because some of these packages do have some nice models. All right, good to know. All right, so we're gonna put this in here and then put it off to the side so that I don't forget it, and then we'll come back to it. Good call. All right, now here we have our airport, and now we have something that's outside of the airport, or outside of the airport. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna group this, because we're gonna have another folder, and I'm gonna rename it something like airport assets. Airport assets. Or props. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, so now everything else that doesn't automatically go into this airport object will go into this folder right here, keeping it nice and organized. Out for a smoke. Copy that. I reused a lot of their assets. Got it. Alright, I'm digging that. All right, so we have this. I don't know where I'm gonna get this from. Maybe I have to recreate that from hand, but we'll see. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's see what else we can find. All right, so there's like grass. So I'm not really getting great pictures. Like sometimes I can, from here, if I look at it, I can get. So I've got like really detailed stuff here, but I'm not doing any modeling. Someone snuck in a flight sim picture. And there's that sign that I keep seeing. Let me see here. So there's a lot of pictures of this plane, this Pacific Coastal. So this one's a nice one. Like when I start putting in some of their assets. But the majority of it seems to be just pictures of this. All right, which is fine. I know that in, let me see. I did see that there was a street thing, which I thought was super helpful. There goes that helicopter pad. So we got one building. Looks like we have an elevated section here with 2 fuel tanks and something to surround it. Alright, so that's definitely something that we can do. Alright, so let's work on the fencing, because I love fencing. Alright, sometimes you can see the fence from the view here. So we have this fence here, and you can just imagine that it probably comes in through here as well to keep out any of the wildlife. And then I did see that there is a different kind of fencing over here. If we take a look at these pictures, here we have this fence. And I'm just going to kind of go quickly. I'm just looking for fencing stuff. And the one that I'm looking for, I don't mean to give you guys whiplash, is I think the first one that I took. So this one. So at the primary runway, there is a separate thing that's here. So I think we can start out with that first. Let's see if we can find it. All right, so there's a road and we have two. So this looks like an internal road and an outside road. So I think the fencing is on this side here. And I'm gonna assume that it is based on this path right here. Actually, now that I'm looking at this, here's the runway. That's the first road, which might be the internal road, and then this was just outside. So this is 2024, so it might be different. Let's see. This is Google Maps, which it actually may not even be there. Oh, is that a river? Oh, that's a river. That's not a road. Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. So then I guess we can put one here, even though I don't think it's really there. There's no. So we'll put one there just for kicks and giggles. And that'll be on the inside. All right. So looks like it might be here. That looks like a straight line. We'll see. All right. So what we're going to do is this one is going to be a vector placement. Consider using GitHub for version control. No doubt. Definitely doing that. Let me actually show you quickly. I wonder if I'm logged into GitHub on this browser. Looks like you have gone through trials and tribulations. You're giving me all the juice. Use it for your projects, yeah. What? Invalid password. Oh, sounds like I've got an old password. All right, hold on. I'm opening up my password manager. You shouldn't be able to see it. That'll suck if you can see it. Looking for GitHub. I've got GitLab. There's GitHub. Let's see if my password. Oh, well, there it is. It's a little longer. Let's go ahead and update it. I'm going to use my Authenticator app. Nothing like two-factor authentication. The GitHub and 2472. All right, so I've got a couple things going on. Tabletop Android. Actually, I could have just searched it there. There's the repos. Oh, it was right in front of me. Haha. So here's Bella Odyssey. And I've got it structured this way. I've got my source, and then I have scenery, and then I just put the scenery there. So as soon as we make some progress, we're gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so here we have vector placements, and we're gonna look at fencing. So actually, before we do that, let's figure out which fence we're gonna use. So to look at that, let's go back down to scenery, and then we're gonna do the FS base, and then we're gonna type in fence, and there's different types of fencing. We're gonna do the one click so we can get kind of like a preview. So there goes the fence type. So these are borders, I guess, for airport lights. We have blast. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. All right, so here we have regular fences. So we have this one. These are the wooden ones. The metal ones is typically the metallic. Let's get in a little closer, a little easier to see. So we have the 1 meter, 3 meter, and 9 meters. So this is when we're doing the vector placements. I use the smallest one. This one is just the same thing but 3 meters. Same thing but 9 meters. And the same thing with the high, little, and medium. This was so weird when I first I was like, I thought it was height, but it's actually just width or length. So here is concrete 01. So that's the little one. There's the medium, which is just a little longer. So we can say 1 meter, 3 meter, 9 meters. All right. So we got concrete 2. Let's take a look at what concrete 3 looks like, and concrete 4. All right, concrete 5. One more hint, maybe. I hope I'm not rude or smithing. I have a separate test project to select assets, not to interfere with main ones. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. So you do. Okay, got it. So you have like your main airport. What's the word I'm looking for? Your main airport, we'll say architecture, as one project, and then you have your assets as another project. No, as a. Wait, do you have it as a library to the project, or do you have it as a separate repo? Let's go to 6. You just so you don't accidentally save modified main project. I got it. Sounds like you've been burned many times. All right, concrete that's turning. So we're gonna get into the grilling so there goes a concrete with a tarp. I think we might do this one, so we'll keep that one in mind. So now we get to the grill. The grill fences, and sometimes it acts a little funky when it's doing a preview. I don't know why it does that. Okay, but we got a sense as to what it is. So we have that one. We go to grilling 3, grill 4. And sometimes these are a little different. So this was grill 4B, and then this is grill 4. And then we go to we go to grill 5, which has concrete and then the thing. So, I mean, that one might be nice. I think I like the tarp one better. Whole new airfield. It looks so easy while watching you. Not so easy when constructing. No. I've been doing this for a little while, maybe, I don't know, maybe a year or so, and I've had a ton of trial and error, and it has been a god-awful mess sometimes. All right, so now we have fence light. This is a light fence. Then we have the fence metal, which is, I think, blast fences. And then we have this got this big one. All right, so the metal ones may not be what we're looking for. That one is a smaller one, a very tiny one. So I think I know which one I want to use. I'm just looking at some of these. So we got this fence with the tarp. So that one looks a little ragged and old. Let's see what the little one looks like. And then we have the wind barrier. And then we have a wood one. All right, so I think I'm gonna use, I already forgot. I think it was this one. No, it wasn't that. I already forgot. No, it wasn't, I guess it wasn't 3. This one, I think it was this one. Yeah, so we're gonna use fence, concrete, tarp. So we're gonna want to take a look at that one. All right. So because I don't think there is a preview, so I'm gonna Okay, because my memory is trash, I'm gonna write it down. So let me find my text editor. Hey, here's my text editor. All right, and I'm just gonna write it down. Fence concrete tarp 01, and we're gonna use the little one. All right, so now that we figured that out, and we're not doing the one, we're gonna do vector placement, and now we're gonna search. We're gonna click all, because right now it just had this one selected. So fence, concrete, already forgot. concrete tarp. There we go. All right. So we're gonna use a little one. We have no idea what it is because it's not really showing us. Have a separate file with all the asset names that I saw and thought they may be useful. Oh, like a little library. Oh, that's actually interesting. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and add this, and this makes the life a little easier. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm trying to imagine a line. So we're gonna do this. So I'm gonna we're gonna control click, and then we're gonna hit enter. So I'm assuming that this is just like the last barrier if there was someone that was driving or someone that was walking over here. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and, so the interesting thing about this is some of the models support this well and some of them don't. Now, because it's a vector and we're gonna have more vectors, it automatically places it underneath the airport object. So we're gonna get ahead, and we're gonna go ahead and group it. And these are vector placements. And we're gonna have more. All right, so this one, so now let's go ahead and configure this. So here we have avoid discontinuity. Right now it's set to space these out at 50 meters a piece. We're gonna control click in here. We're gonna just do a test number of 5, just to get an idea of how the repeat works. So 5 meters seems to be too much, so maybe 4.8. So we're gonna go ahead and, whoops, not 40, 4.8. Nope. Okay, not 4. So let's see what, okay, 4 gives us this. So let's try 3. It'll start to overlap. 3.5. 3.6, 7. Okay, we can start to see that there's a little bit of separation at 3.7. And sometimes you don't want it, sometimes you don't want it overlapping. So 3.8. All right, so there's too much separation at 3.8. So we'll do 3.7. Good thing is that we can do additional numbers. So let's try 7.1. Nope. So let's try 6.8. 6.9. Okay, so 6.9, you can see the separation. So 6.8. So I think we'll just leave it at 3.68. All right, I'm going to go ahead and save immediate. All right, so that kind of acts as a barrier, just to make sure that people don't accidentally wander onto the runway. Separation is okay. There's nothing perfect in real life. Yeah, very true. Very true. All right, so we have our first thing. All right, now, what we're gonna do with the fencing, because I do love the fencing. So the interesting thing about 3D spaces is, if 3D space is open and there's no objects around you, then it doesn't, for some reason, it doesn't feel real. But as soon as you start putting in objects, things for you to avoid, things that encapsulate and shrink your area, then it starts to become real. Like right now, this just looks like an open field, and there's really, it just, feels less real. But as we start to put more and more objects on board, we start to put fencing and stuff like that, then then it surprisingly starts to feel more real. I've played a lot of assets like nobody would care, measuring distance from tree to tree. Oh man. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and do a little. Let's try and figure this out. So I know that there's fence. Maybe I'll start from this end and work my way back. Let's go ahead and check out the screenshots that I got. And I think I got them, you know, primarily just to get an idea of what the fencing was like. So there's cones over here. This fencing is fine. We don't have to worry about that. Looking at the outside one. All right, so they have some fencing over here. Now this one, I'm gonna keep this open because now we have cars, vehicles. So I'm gonna keep this open so that the vehicles can drive through. The first such experience was KA50 Desert Livery. Oh, I haven't done livery. I don't know if I'm confused or scared. What if a sergeant was told to make a desert camo during the during the night? Take a bucket. Oh goodness. All right. Let me see here. Got a little bit more. All right. So we have some fencing right there, and then we have a building. And then we have kind of a separate, it looks like there's a little bit of fencing over here, but it's separate. So we're not going to worry about connecting that right now. But then, now this fencing I think should be on the outside, these little springs, because you're trying to keep people out. Oh wait, I'm looking at the wrong side. Yes, this is out. This is out. Okay. Okay, and these are different. And so usually the ones that I'll see that have, sorry, I forgot I can zoom in. So these little springs here that come out, that definitely helps deter people from climbing over. So usually I would see these like as the main fence. This one, I don't know why they didn't do it, but I guess it's fine. All right. It's their prerogative. There's a house. All right. So we have this gate. We're going to leave this gate open. So from this one, okay, so we have like a couple of different vectors that we're going to use. But then from here, that's the longest fence. All right. All right, so so this one is a different kind of fence, but then there's one over here. All right, I don't think it's too crazy. We have that fence here. Check gate assets. Oh, gate. All right, we'll do. Hold on. All right, so that is a different type of fence. And then, so it looks like on the lake side, on the river side, there's no fence. It looks like they did put down their own road. So they used a taxi point, and they may have changed it to road type. Trying not to backseat. It's all good, bro. I appreciate your suggestions. All right, this is on the left-hand side. So we have fence that goes all the way down there. Looks like it just comes up at the end. All right, so it's not totally crazy. And then here, so we have fencing. So just a little bit of space over there, and then it goes into the forest. All right, we should be able to fandangle our way through this. All right, so we'll do this. This one will be the longest one, so we can do that one first, and then we can always adjust. So we're gonna do some of this, and then we're just going to we're going to do our best to try and follow this line all the way out. Now this one looks interesting because it looks like they may have, based on this line, it looks like they may have done some fencing like that, which I don't know why. I haven't been there though, so I don't know, but that looks like that might have been fencing. And this one is this one's off here, so we might end up. I'm gonna do the fencing. Let me see here. How am I gonna do this? And but we can always add to it later, so that's not a huge deal. We just need to start. Okay, I think I'm getting ahead of myself here. All right, so I forgot the main one, so let's go back to scenery, and then we can take a look at fence. And it's usually the grill. We can do that, fence underscore, and then grilling. All right, and then we hit enter, and then I can move this camera down a little bit. All right, let's click on one, and then get a little preview. So I believe the one I'm looking for is probably 3 or 4. Nope, not 3. So we have 4B. Nope, that's not the one. Let's go with 4. All right, so I think 4. Yeah, I think that's the one I'm looking for because it has that spring. So let's take a look at 4. Then we have these portals, which is the gates. Let's go with 5. Nope. So I definitely think it's 4. Yeah, it's definitely 4. So 4 little. Okay, let's do the vector placements. We're gonna do fence, grilling, all packages. We're going for 0, 4, and we're going to go for the little. That one right there. Okay, so let's just get started here. And we're going to control click our way. We can always adjust. You can always add new points. Sometimes it's so difficult just getting started. So like this even looks like it goes like this. I'm trying to follow these lines here. So I see that there's a dip in here, but we're just gonna follow this line. All right, and even though I don't think it's perfect, I think I'm gonna go ahead and follow this. We're control clicking. And then we are doing some more control clicking. Okay, now this is a question. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna leave it right here because people have vehicles, and if I enclose them, they're gonna drive all the way out here and not be able to get out. So we're gonna leave it right there. All right, so let's go ahead and now make this. First, let me save it. All right, so we have that object selected. We're gonna go ahead and avoid discontinuity. We're gonna control click between the spacing. I always start out with 5 just to see what's going on. All right, so the trick here is here we have the little one, and then there's a little bit of overlap. So let's do 5.5 and see where that goes. I think 5.5 is the one, and for the most part we're good. There's a little bit of overlap, but you know, it's fine. All right, and then these prongs are facing outward, so I think I'm happy with that. And there goes our fencing. I used to do this when I first started. I used to do this by hand, and that was an awful mess. And then I finally learned about vector placing, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest. But the funny thing is, the first time I used vector placing, I used a different fence, and that's when I learned that not all objects are optimized, I guess, for vector placement, because it would behave weird, and I was like, why is it not working? Okay. All right, so we got this going. This is a start. So I wonder, in theory, if so, whenever I'm doing the fencing, again, I'm trying to think about the people that are racing their vehicles out here. So they might follow this line. I mean, this road. This one seems like, I don't know. This one seems a little off-roady. I guess it could be for a vehicle. So I'm wondering if I should open this up, but I'm probably because this is so close. I can easily delete these and then remap them. But that's something to think about. They'll probably drive their cars and drive it over here. I did see that there is a construction spot. I think it's happening over here. So in one of the pictures, I saw that there is some construction happening. So we'll see what we can do about that. All right. Okay. So that's roughly that side. So we'll need to figure out how to keep the other riffraffs out. I think what I'll do is we'll go ahead and just remove these because they're kind of getting in the way a little bit. All right, so how we do that? There is, wait, we're gonna save. They have a couple of options. There is the exclusion rectangle. Let's just go ahead and test that. If I add that here, you can see that it's not excluding anything inside here. It says exclude all objects, but it doesn't do that. This works very well for when you have a windsock that's in the way. So what else you can do? What other things you can do is we do have a rectangle, and if we add the rectangle, that seems. Oh, I thought it immediately. I thought it immediately did it. Every time it renders, it does that. Okay, so here we have the rectangle, and here we have exclude buildings. Boom. Let's go ahead and exclude that building. I'm gonna go ahead and just make this as tight as possible because we're gonna end up with a lot of polygons and stuff like that. So we just need to make sure. All right, so now we have a rectangle, no building. We're gonna do more. So let's go ahead and group this. And then we're going to rename it to exclusions because there's other stuff that we're going to exclude. All right. So now we have 3 groups at airport with all its stuff, some airport assets, and then we have our exclusions. All right. So for this one, I can just duplicate it. I think it's control D to duplicate. And then we can do that over here. Let's just align this up real quick. Then we'll do that. Look at that. It rendered a little bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and just pull it out some. Alright. There we go. All right, so this area right here, how am I going to connect that? Let's go ahead and save. Yeah. All right, so that's there. We're going to go ahead and save that. Hold on a minute. Let me check my phone. 8:44. I think I'm going to have to stop the stream at 9. So this was an ad hoc stream because I'm working on this project. But I think I'm going to stop streaming at 9. Yeah, so in about 15 minutes. Yeah. All right, so let's see what we can do in 15 minutes. All right, so let's take a look at this again and try and see what we can do or what we can understand. All right, so this one is the inside one or the outside one. This one is the inside. I want to see how this one operates. So from this to this, they have a fence. This to this. Good luck with your project. We'll watch in background now. All right, boss. Test pilot, thanks for the follow. Thanks for your suggestions and sharing your experience. I definitely feel you on all the pain points and all the results thereof. Is that anytime an object is put onto the screen, we control S. And welcome. And I'll definitely check out your scenery because I like the pictures. I like how clean it is. You seem to do good work, my friend. All right, apparently I did not take a great picture of this one. I don't think I really thought about it too well. All right, let's see here. So this one, yeah, so this one, I'm just gonna, let me see here. I'm gonna go back and forth a little bit. Okay, I think because the buildings are different. Or yeah, so, okay. Here's this building, so it looks like it comes out to here. So it's just gonna go straight, and then it's gonna come out there. Rat hole! Rat hole, ready, ready, ready. Let me just let that music play. I love that music. Hey guys, how's it going? Rat hole, thank you very much for the raid. Raiders, welcome aboard. I'm your boy Tabletop Android. We are doing some scenery development. We're working on Bella Coola. Before I started working on Bella Coola, I did not realize. Let me throw it on my desktop. I did not realize that Orbix already came out with their own Bella Coola. So Flight Sim 2024, I believe, has it in there. Mine has it in there. I didn't buy it, so this Bella Coola one is already in here, and it looks great. But I'm building one for 2020, and I'm going to try and see how that works. So I'm going to load it in 2024 and see if it overrides the one that's already in the system. We'll see. But this is what we're working on. We took away a lot of the aprons and stuff like that. And we're just kind of rebuilding. Making really tiny, nearly invisible parts for my for your plane. Oh man, so Rat, when you are finished with this plane, are you going to put it on flightsim.to, or are you going to make it a payware because of all the effort and work that you've put into this beauty? My tech review with some emoticons that are not rendering for me, unfortunately. Definitely going to do some sort of payware. Got it. Well, let me know. I would love to support your efforts. Sorry for the emotes. Hey, no worries. They were raid based, so I had an idea of what you were doing. Planet Neutral, what's up, man? Good to see you. But everyone who's been a sub at a point over this whole time will get a copy. I think I was a sub at one point. Love it. I'm gonna pay you anyway. Because Rat Hole, you do good work. My tech review. Thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the follow. All right. So what we're doing this here. So we're gonna do a fence, even though there's no lines here. We're gonna do a fence, and we're gonna just kind of let it come in. The reason why I'm doing that is based off of this picture here. So I'm just going to do that. Boom. Should be easy. Bob's your uncle, so forth and so on. All right, so we have, okay, so here we have, so now that we're adding more vectors, right? We're going to need to kind of group them because this is outside, this is outer fencing. So we're going to go ahead and group them because we're going to have a little bit of more. So we're going to call it outer fencing. I mean, you can call it whatever you want. I'm calling it outer fencing. No worries, Rat. No worries. You have entertained me for quite some time. All right, so we're using the fence grilling 04 little. So let's go back to that. We have vector placement. We're gonna have to do a search for search all packages for fence grilling. You have to spell things right. 04. And then little. That's what we're doing. All right, we're doing that one. We're gonna add it. We're gonna go ahead and do it like this. And I so want a I want some lines to be there. All right, that's it. We're gonna work with that. All right, so now they're spaced out. We're gonna click avoid discontinuity. Here's the spacing. We're gonna control click in here. 5.5 meters is usually the magic number. And there we go. We got some more fencing. All right, so this is starting to come along. We're gonna change this material right at some point, but right now we just wanted to get kind of like a base going. So the interesting thing is sometimes trying to figure out if you can blend it, if you can blend these edges. What I've noticed, and I don't know how to do it yet, is I've noticed that whatever Asobo or Microsoft is doing is that they'll have this layer, they'll have the grass, and the grass is what is overflowing, not this. So for instance, if I did, so this apron, this base apron, if I went ahead and gave it a fall off of like 1. So the idea is with the fall off, the idea is that it's supposed to blend into. So if you make it bigger, it'll start to kind of blend. It's a little easier to see how it blends over here. So it starts over here and then it starts to blend over. So if we go 50 meters, you get an idea. But because we have all of these different points, it's going to start to look all crazy. So let's put it back at 0. Is that fence? No. Part of the Asobo objects? Yes. This fence right here is, if I mouse over it, it's a part of FS base, flight sim base. All right, so I think what I can do it. So what I can do is actually, you know what? Let's do a quick test. I'm gonna go ahead and create a quick apron of grass, which it's not gonna be great. So the reason why I don't want to do that is there's a lot of textures here, different kind of stuff going on. And if I do the apron, it's just gonna be one texture. So we'll lose all of these little imperfections if I do that. So maybe I'll just leave it alone. Okay, I've been working on my own scenery, but I will start over in 2024. All right, so who was with us earlier? It was Test Pilot Live. He has a lot of experience, and we've all gone through the painstaking lessons learned when we're doing scenery. I didn't start out. I switched over to 2024 doing scenery because I was like, hey, this is I don't have time to support both because I got a full-time job and blah 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 blah. Life. So I focused on 2024, and then I realized that my community still has 2020. So no one's been really utilizing the scenery that I have. So now I gotta jump back on 2020 until everyone sees the light and and switches over to 2024. But I do like the SDK for 24. There are a lot of what do they call that? Quality of life. There's some quality of life changes to the interface, and I think that's what makes coming back to 2020 a little hard. So for this, they have previews for the objects. So right now, the only way that I can preview an object is by clicking one click and then kind of seeing it on there. But this one, they give you a little thumbnail, which is super helpful. What I would love for them to do is for you to be able to use your keyboard and traverse all of these different things. But I have to still click. All right, that was quite the tangent. All right, so we have that fencing. We didn't do this fencing over here. All right, and again, I'm gonna leave this open because people now drive cars in Flight Simulator. so I don't want to lock them in. Okay, the biggest issue I have is import stuff into 2020. I made a full hanger in Blender and it just won't load in the scenery. Yes, that, my friend, is a pain point at first. Let us, if you have time, I'm gonna go ahead and try and do that right now. So we'll use this spot here. Okay, so 2020. So let me show you the file structure. Here's the packages. All right, so here is the scenery that I'm working with, Bella Odyssey. And we have our packages. This is the folder for when it builds. So all of the stuff that you're using is going to be here under package sources. So you got scenery, you have the Bella Coola, and then you have scenery. So anything additional, you're going to basically put it in here. So first things, you can do it manually or you can do it in here. So let's go ahead and actually let me actually show you. Sorry. So let me show you what let me show you what we're working with. So I have a Blender, applied some assets. So I have some hangers. So I didn't make these hangers, but I did purchase them. So let me go ahead and open it up in Blender. These are like low polys, nothing special. I think I paid maybe 20 bucks for the set. All right, so this is, oh, nope. Actually, I don't remember how to use this. There it is. So this is the hanger, and I learned that this actually should open up wide instead of sliding, but that's it right there. I see it in the object. It just doesn't load. I got an invisible hanger. That might be a texture thing, and I had to learn how to use these textures. So I'm assuming that you have the Asobo plugin. Oh, that's 2024. I wonder if this is going to work in 2020. We'll see. But either way, yes. Okay, so for me, I realized that. All right, so here's the materials, and there's the normal stuff, but then there's a 2020 materials parameter that you're gonna have to use. And by default, this one is set to disable. So if you put it on standard, then you'll have to manually put in your textures. So at some point we have textures. Base texture, some metallic stuff, some normal stuff. I didn't understand this at all, but a friend helped me, so I understand it a little better. But I basically just worked with these textures and then exported it. The next thing I need to learn is LODs. But I have the object, generated the XML, the GUID, and then for the settings, where's the textures? Oh well. All right, so we have the textures. This is what came with the product that I purchased. Then here's the export. And also have to use Blender, right? Yes, Blender 3.6. I want to use the latest Blender, but apparently the plugin only supports up to Blender 3.6. So that is sucky. All right, so let's see here. Let's go back to this one. So we're gonna go ahead and add. So we're gonna go back to our project. Here's our project, and let me see if I can do this right, because it sometimes I don't do this right. All right, boss. Okay, yeah, that's the problem. So I always try and add item, and I end up with a new project. So when I build, I have two packages instead of one. If you click on your main project, go to inspector, you can add an asset group. So we already have the scenery group. We're going to add another. We're going to add a custom. This is going to be model lib. So these are models. This is our library models. And this one is called scenery. So I'm just going to call this model lib, because why not? And then we're gonna go ahead and there's a template. Nope. Okay. And then we're gonna go ahead and create. All right. So now we have our model lib, and what it did automatically in our folder structure. In our folder structure, it went ahead and created a model lib folder. So now I can place all of my models in here. What I'm gonna do is, now this is the funny thing, they want the texture folder on the outside. So I'm gonna copy and paste this. And then I'm gonna, this is my hanger 1. So I'm gonna just name this hanger 01. So as I continue to add more models, all of the textures for those models are going to go into this texture folder. So this texture folder is going to be gigantic. And you're going to have different folders with your... Uh-oh, wait, I did something wrong. Oh, it switched up on me. All right. So here's your stuff, and then here's your textures. Yeah, on the root. Yep. Okay. So you're with me. I'm with you. All right. So now let's go ahead. Let's see if it's in there. I think I have to do a build. It's possible that it could just be in there. So I'm gonna go to scenery. I don't know if it like automatically does. It should have tabletop. Actually, should it? I don't know. All right, let's do a build. Let's do a build and see what happens. We'll go back to the project. We're gonna build all. Hopefully there's no errors. And ooh, there's 75 errors. Ooh, I love it. And it's because of what? This is the package something. It doesn't like this model lib listener. I think you need to load the asset. How do I load the asset? Oh, you mean like this with the inspector? Ooh, can't load it in the editor. So I think I need to hold on. I'm gonna clean, and I'm gonna do a build, and then we'll see what is erroring out. I'm gonna do a build. All right. So there are 75 things that are. It's possible it could be something else. This is the first time that I'm building. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? This is a test of mine. So I'm going to delete this. So all I have is this empty folder, and then we'll see if it's my models or if it's something else. So we're gonna do a build all. And it looks like it is... Why is it taking so long? Why is it taking so long? What is going on here? Did you crash on me? Oh, okay. It took a while, but it actually finished. And 0 errors. So it's definitely my models. It doesn't like it. There's something it doesn't like. Alright, so we've got a model lib, but now we need to figure out how to put our models in there. Alright, so we got to build. Let's go ahead and put these bad boys back in there. Oh, you know what? It's probably because of the 2024 one. Interesting. Okay, so now I need to now do 2024. And then textures. No, the textures are probably the same. But now I need to do a 2020 exports 2020. Oh my gosh, what a mess. All right, so that means now that I need to get the other one in there. All right, so we're gonna close this out. Wow. I might have to come back to that because it's already after 9 o'clock. Okay, so that is good for me to know. So supporting both products, I'm gonna have to do 2 exports. Yucko. All right, not fun. Okay, gang. So we gotta build. Let me see here. And I'm so used to saving. Even though I did a build, we're going to save anyway. Not a problem. You figure out now a new thing. Yeah, indeed. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and call this because it is time for me to go home, see my family. We're going to go ahead and see who is out and about in the land of Twitch so you guys can keep looking at Flight Simulator stuff. Twitch dot. Come on, spell it right. All right, we got Melvin. I do love me some Melvin. Sim Caesar. He's got plenty of people. So let's go ahead and give Melvin some love. And I did start playing the Battlefield 6 open beta. Beautiful, beautiful game. Love it. Melvin is cool. Melvin. I'm doing this manually. Melvin Leroy Jenkins. All right, gang. So I'm your boy, Tabletop Android. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me as I do some ad hoc scenery development. I stream every Sunday morning. This weekend, I actually got a lot going on. So participating in the Cross Africa event. And so it's going to start. I'm going to start the stream at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Because I'm supposed to take off at 5. I'm going to fly the Beechcraft Starship. It should be like a 5-hour flight. So I'm going to do that stream. Then we have Sunday morning. And then Monday, we've got a group flight. And that'll happen at 7 o'clock at night, Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys are around, you can come check me out. If not, it's fine. There's plenty of people to entertain you. Thank you, My Tech Review, for the follow. Rat Hole, thank you for the raid. Andrew, you are the best and the only. I'm not just saying that because you're the only, but you're the best and moderator around. And Test Pilot Live, thank you for the follow. Okay, I'll see you guys later. You guys show Melvin some love, and I'll see you guys on the other side.